42% of people surveyed, according to Matt Nisbet, still believe in the devil possession. Believing an idea that doesn't have any proof can be looked at in many ways. Skeptics are often afraid of what might happen when an idea gets proven wrong, but what's the worst that could happen? We can see some of these examples in life today in things like the paranormal and alternative medicine. We look at one example, cupping. Cupping has been around for many centuries. It originated in China, where they initially used bamboo cups instead of glass. Soon it moved to America, and now it is used as a new kind of pain reliever. Many think that it doesn't work in relieving pain or curing any little problem your body may encounter. It may not be physiologically helpful, but it works. However, if cupping works, then who really cares if it's placebo? There is not a lot to consider when something works. Sometimes we read too much into an idea. The placebo effect is all about belief, and more often than not, it works and makes humans feel better. This is the reason that when trying out new medicines on people, there are people who take the placebo medicine or drug, and then people who take the actual drug. The placebo or control group in science is usually used to show what might happen if there is nothing done to help the group. However, if the individual is feeling better, then my idea is proved. A lot of what belief is psychological. There is the idea of mind over matter throughout the whole idea of belief. Science is built on the thought that what makes you think will work. Every time we lie, there is a little trigger that goes off that makes our body act a certain way. When we feel sad, for example, we can sometimes feel actual pain in our chest. Another instance could be when we cry after we have a headache. An article by Marcello Gleiser talks about how science could basically cease to exist if there wasn't any belief. He says, perhaps surprisingly, both scientists and faithful believe, even in the nature of belief is completely different for each. Faith has a huge part to play in this too. Scientists really need a strong support their idea and theory in order for them to get even glance in the scientific world. To them, belief is all about making noise, and if anyone tries to challenge them, they have a confidence. Belief and acceptance that a statement is true or something exists. We believe in things because, for one, there is enough evidence that proves it trustworthy. But we as humans also accept things without real proof, but rather what I would like to call personal proof or experience. This is when our way of thinking is so strong because we think that an idea or event works for ourselves maybe twice or more. Cupping is said to work on small aches and pains. Many people who have used it as celebrities such as Jennifer Aniston. It seems like since one person we look up to does it, we immediately think it works too. One way that cupping has spread is word of mouth. Once we see that it works on us, once we think it works. Another example of personal proof is the idea of the paranormal. There are so many shows that make us want to believe that the paranormal is real. For example, Paranormal Witness is a show that reenacts people's experiences with the paranormal as they narrate it. This show makes every event so believable because it draws you into the story. The reenactments are visual with the emotion of the storytellers. Each event sounds very credible. Many of these stories sound like poltergeist or ghost stories that we seem like we've all heard in middle school sleepovers. For some reason, with all the detail and interesting events, we all just get sucked in. Matt Nisbet gives an interesting argument towards the idea that people still believe in the paranormal. Even though there is less of the population that believes in the paranormal, there is still a part of the population that pays attention to the supernatural event that happened at the time. According to Nisbet, this is largely due to the fact that the media likes to cover more of one area. For something called priming occurs when the media covers it, and readers' opinions are based on what they retain in their short-term memory. Another example of something that we just accept as true is intuition. It's the idea that we have the invisible hand or voice inside of our head that guides us to do what's right. We really don't know why we think it's right, but we follow it anyways. It's a kind of own dictatorship in our head. It provides us with confidence in what's right and helps us make our decisions, whether we think about it or not. Why do we think that all this helps in the wrong run if we really can't prove that it's there? Skeptics have this idea that if we believe in all these crazy things, we will start believing to be yes. But it's not that bad to believe in things that are believable. There aren't many terrible things that can happen if they are proven. However, we need some skepticism. For example, if we want to buy a used car and the salesman tells us it's in mint condition and we start driving away and it breaks down, whose fault is it? We need to question people in order for us to get the best we can out of a purchase. This is why there are reviews. Proof is not always essential to belief in something. It makes us more creative and brings us our ideas, and we probably didn't know that until now. The more we analyze and pick apart the idea, the less original it becomes. Many times I find myself not even recognizing the works I just created after someone picks it apart. Proof provides a good basis to what might happen to a strong idea, but without belief, what would our world still come to?